Thanks, Karine. First of all, on the appointment of the special counsel today, former President Trump reacted to this news in an interview, calling this the, quote, worst politicization of justice. He said that this was an unfair and political decision. I'm wondering if you have a response to that.
Look, I will say this, and I've said this many times before, we do not politicize the Department of Justice. That is something that the president said during the campaign. That is something that the president said in his early days of being in the White House, and that continues to be true. We were not involved in this particular issue. We are not involved in, let me just say that more broadly, we're not involved in criminal investigations that are done independently by the Department of Justice. We were not given advance notice. Again, I would refer you to Department of Justice on any questions on this, but this is not an administration that the president has been very clear that will politicize the Department of Justice.
And then on the MBS immunity issue, the administration was invited by the court to make a filing in this case, but it was not required to do so. So why not let the court make its own determination as it relates to MBS's immunity, particularly at a time when you're supposedly reevaluating the relationship with Saudi Arabia?
So look again. It's a federal court requested the government's legal position, so the Department of Justice provided it. That is what occurred, and that is what happened.
It was not required, is the
I would refer you to the State Department on any other specifics. This is what I'm laying out to you: is that a federal court requested the government's legal position, so the Department of Justice provided it. The immunity determination is made based on longstanding and well-established principle of common law, including customary international law. The United States has consistently and across administrations applied these principles to heads of state, heads of government, and foreign ministries while they are in office. The immunity flows directly from MBS's role as prime minister in the Saudi government, which he was appointed to in September. Again, I would refer you to the Department of State on any further questions.
One last question. The top Republican on the House Oversight Committee, Congressman Comer, has said that he's investigating the president's involvement in his son Hunter's foreign business dealings. Looking for your reaction to that, and then on the merits of the allegations, can you address whether the president was involved in any of his son Hunter or his brother's foreign business dealings?
So look, there's a little bit of interesting, kind of on-brand thinking here, because congressional Republicans ran saying that they were going to fight inflation. They said they were going to make that a priority. They were very clear about that these past several months. And instead, what they're doing is they're focusing, they're making their top priority. They get the majority, and their top priority is actually not focusing on the American families, but focusing on the president's family. They're not coming up with solutions on how we're going to lower costs for American families. They're not coming up with solutions on how we're dealing with issues that matter the most to American families. Look, the midterm elections were very clear. They were very clear where Americans said they wanted us to deal with real issues. They wanted us to deal with what we were seeing with democracy. They wanted us to deal with how we're going to fight for freedoms and for rights of the American people. And so that's not the first thing, that the top priority that they lay out is an investigation on the president's family. Look, my colleagues in the White House counsel's office are handling these threats of investigation by the House Republicans. So when it comes to specific allegations, I would refer you to them. I'm not going to get into specifics of what that might look like or anything else that's related to this.
On camera as it relates to the merits of any of these allegations, because
I've been very
can speak
clear.
To them, but not on camera.
I've been very clear. It's like, Republicans said that they were going to, during the midterms, they were going to fight inflation, right? They said that they were going to deliver for the American people, that they were going to actually do things that give relief to the Americans. And what they're doing instead, their top priority when they get majority, is to talk about investigating the president's family, instead of doing what they said that they would do, is giving support to American families. That is what we're seeing. But again, it's pretty much on brand. Go ahead.
Thank you. In light of the legal fight over the president's student loan debt forgiveness program, is the president considering extending the moratorium on repayments that is set to currently expire at the end of the year? The NAACP and other advocates are pushing for that extension?
I sort of just answered that question, and I said all options are on the table.
So that's under consideration.
I'm just saying all options are on the table, but what I really want to be clear here is the reason why we took it to the Supreme Court is because we want to come to resolve on this very quickly, because we understand what American families are dealing with at this time. And so, look, and we're going to continue to call out Republican officials and special interest groups who are instead of giving relief to American families on a plan that will help 90% of the borrowers will be making less than $75,000. That matters. And so, again, all options are on the table. I don't have anything more to say, but again, we're going to continue to fight.